Okay, here's the next segment. As you can see, the foam has been cut out. Took the hot wire cutter, and this thing has been coming. It's worth its weight in gold. It's one of the, again, woodland scenic products. Just simple, effective, does its job, and then all I ended up doing was running it along the inside here, and just use the wood as a guide and drug it down. Again, not trying to keep the walls absolutely perpendicular, because this isn't, like I said, a civil engineering job where they're trying to have everything all nice and square. This is supposed to be a trench system, so this is just about getting dug in for protection. So a lot of it's just, I'm not trying to be super precise, just trying to get it relatively flush. And then what we'll do here is going to glue the bottom piece, and then here's the cutout here that I've got of the masonite. And then all I'm going to do is take the same glue. I'm going to butter up both sides, back side, this side, attach it together, and that will give us a bottom to this. And then at that point, once that then dries, then I'll do a little bit more kind of final shaping, and then start trying to fill in some of the gaps and stuff along the edges to make sure it's all sealed up. And then what we're going to try to do is actually try to make not have this bottom totally flat, actually try to give it some highs and lows and stuff like that, and then fill in probably some water effects and such with some resin, make it look like little puddles. So the idea being it's actually got, that it's been here, it's been war torn and such like that. And then I got to figure out a couple little ways to do some means to get in and out of the trenches and stuff. And there'll probably be some slight buildups to do that. And I'm even thinking about cutting out a bomb crater in this section here, just a small one, and making it filled in with some stuff, just to, again, both as an overall test piece to see how some of the different techniques work, and then just also give it more flavor, if you will, for the board. So as you see, there'll be different sections. And then just as just a reminder on this, I'm making this section, this is 6 inches, and the same as over there from that edge is 6 inches, so that we can rotate these around. I'm going to probably make a sister board similar to this, so that we can match it up and either make this like a U, or we can then flip them around and make it go different directions and stuff. So the idea being we can then stretch this trench across the game board in different means, and again, to make the game more interesting. So yeah, probably the second board will actually then have a piece that will then stay at this length and then come down and then do a lip over, so that at that 6 inch mark here at the other edge, so again, so we can attach boards and make make different shapes and stuff out of it. So this thing isn't done yet, but it's getting one step closer, and I'm gonna flip this over, start putting the glue down, if you will, and then we will bond the bottom. All right, just to show you kind of what we're doing here, how I'm gluing this thing down. Here's the Loctite adhesive again, and then at this point, what I'm just gonna do is hit it with a good bead of glue around the edge. And then we will spread out the glue with the trusty putty knife and get that set. And then same thing here, again, just putting glue down. Again, because this is going to be the only thing actually holding the material on. Don't be cheap. I mean, this tube of stuff I think was like $3. So, beyond that, I mean, pretty much once I use it for this project, having leftovers and such probably isn't a benefit. So, don't worry about trying to save anything. This is going to be definitely one of, if I even burn through this tube and have to buy a second, is probably not a bad thing. So, at that point, that's the glue, and then we just grab the old trusty knife, and then we just start buttering it up. And at this point, again, this isn't about being precise. We don't have to be super clean. We just want to make sure we get everything, you know, all the edges, and especially right here where I really want to make sure the bond is right there on the edge where it's going to meet the bottom and the sidewall, so that it's nice. You know, there's plenty of glue there, and it's gonna provide the bonding that we want. So do you need to move fairly quickly with this stuff? It says it sets up in about 15 minutes, and I would say that's probably even a little fast. This doesn't, you know, it is nice. It's a pretty tacky stuff, so it's kind of like liquid nails, but I think it's just Loctite's version of it. So quite honestly, it was a little less expensive than the liquid nail, so that's what I grabbed. And what I'm going to do here is stop the camera, finish buttering all this stuff up, and I'll pick it up here when I go to place it down. So back in a bit. Okay, as you can see, I've got the glue spread all over this, and it's all nice and covered. Same thing on the board here. Got the glue all spread, and now we just put it down onto the board here. And then just kind of make sure we got the edges nice and tight. Everything looks to be kind of lining up, and now we just give it some pressure there on the edges, and just go back to the grabbing stuff that's heavy and stick it on top. So, you know, the jug of glue is probably actually too heavy, and this is the one thing you want to put something that's either going to put weight completely across both edges, or it's going to potentially bow the thing. So what you need is to make sure you're putting the weight on the edges here, not in the middle where you're going to potentially cause the corners to come up. So I'm going to load this thing up with a bunch of weight, and we'll give it another probably 20-30 minutes to just basic dry, and then we should be able to start getting a decent look at what it's going to look like, and kind of move from there. So more to come as this progresses. So there it is. All right, here it is with the bottom glued in. As you can see, gives a nice deep trench. Do need to get in there and still fill in some of the gaps, but again, as we start layering up the materials and such, that will quickly go away. And again, just the bottom side of it, just glued in place. So it still needs to dry, still needs to take time and let it cure and stuff. But I think the basics of it are successful, if you will, and then this will allow us to start building off of the next set of things we actually want to do in the trench itself. But what I'm debating on is whether or not I start trying to shoot a layer of just primer paint over it yet or not, or to actually start working on the insides of the trench. So that might be part of tomorrow's piece, is just to start getting a layer of material in the bottom here, start maybe building stuff up, start giving it some different heights and stuff like that, and start doing some other measurements to get a rough idea. Get some minis in here, get some overall size, and we'll do that. I'll get that'll be some pictures and stuff we'll get with some more with some actual minis to give it kind of a scale and things like that, so we kind of look like it, get some ideas. So if anybody has any comments or anything like that, please feel free to post them. If you got any other suggestions or ideas or other things you'd like to see out of it, again, feel free to put the comments in there so we can see what goes out of it, because again, this is just kind of one big experiment, and just want to show everybody what's going on. If they've got something they'd like to try to see and they don't have the tools or the materials to do it, we're obviously in the middle of the building process, so give it a shout out and let me know. Thanks.